Every Friday from 3:05 to 4 on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. It's the Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto. Talking local sports every Friday. Getting you ready for the weekend and what lies ahead. High school sports, UConn, ECSU, and more. The Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto is brought to you by your local Dunkin' stores. Route 32 South Windham, 1015 Main Street, Willimantic, 1575 West Main Street, and 407 Jackson Street. The Friday Sports Scene. Now, here's Keith C. Rice and Jan Koivisto.
Welcome into the May 22nd edition of the Dunkin' Friday Sports Scene here on WILI. Sorry, I didn't know if we're on there. I can't hear myself. Are we good, Matt?
Yeah. Can you hear that?
I can't hear myself.
I'll get you headphones.
No, that's all right. Don't worry about it. As long as we're on, that's the
We'll
important.
need new headphones for the phone call.
I will need to. That's right, for our guests. Welcome into the May 22nd edition of the Dunkin' Friday Sports Scene. Happy birthday to Colin K. Rice. Be my father, turning 79 today. The doorstep.
Happy birthday.
The doorstep of the big 8-0. Thank you, Nick. Clouds rolling in on what's going to be probably a washout of a Memorial Day holiday weekend. Hope you guys don't have any outdoor plans, or did you? Or
Well, I listened to Wayno this morning, as I was talking about, and they said tomorrow is going to be pretty good. Rain comes in at night.
Oh, really?
But then, yeah, Sunday and Monday, I guess, is when there'll be more rain. So I think tomorrow we're going to be okay.
Oh, okay.
So if you had picnic plans for Sunday, move them to tomorrow.
There you go.
And we'll be all right.
Boy, it was like earlier this week, it was summertime, even though it's still spring. It was like almost hitting the century mark in the middle of May. So here we are, closing in on the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Do you guys have big holiday weekend plans? Anything exciting going on? Nick's got his Patrick Ewing jersey representing the New York Knickerbockers. They're up 2-0 Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
So anything going on? You going to watch Game 3 tonight, the Western Final?
Yeah, I'll probably watch that. And then my son has a baseball game tomorrow morning. They moved it to the morning.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, I'm going to just wing it the rest of the weekend.
I met young Nick. I met young Maverick last night at a Third Thursday Street Fest. Felt like I was talking to a young Nick. Maverick Erlinson, who's a pretty good baseball player too, huh?
I guess so.
What do you mean, I guess so?
I'm a biased opinion.
All right. So anyway, Jan, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I'll be at a basketball tournament this weekend. I'm coaching some AAU, some 7th graders, so I'll be there. But I did ask for some early morning time, so I'll be able to get home, enjoy, spend some time with the family.
Good.
So that's about it for me. And we'll watch some Sox. I'm back in on the Sox.
Are you back in now? Here's the crazy thing.
Sox.
They are still in on the third wild card, which turns me off incredibly because it tells me I don't want to be average anymore. We're the Boston Red Sox. Okay, they're still in on the playoff. The pitching and the defense has been good, as we had talked about earlier. The offense, I don't know what they're doing there. I mean, they swept the Kansas City Royals. Big whoop. I mean, Kansas City stinks.
Well, Duran's hitting, so that helps. Let's get Anthony back, and let's not wait till the trade deadline, and let's get a right-handed bat in the next month or so. Because I think the pitching's for real. I think they're going to keep pitching pretty well.
Except Bayo. Bayo's been a train wreck.
Well, right, but Crochet's back, I think, in a week. I think he's on progress. So I think that that's real stuff. And Chapman is unbelievable. He's been so unbelievable with the Sox.
I'll give Breslow that. That was a lottery. That was a lottery ticket right there.
Maybe we don't want to talk about the Sox too much, but the 3 biggest pickups the Sox had this offseason were Contreras, Gray, and Suarez. And they've all been really, really good. I feel like sometimes we blame the ownership and the general manager too much, and we don't say, well, Duran stinks. He's got to get his act together. Durbin, who I know was coming off a rookie year, but a decent rookie year, he stinks. That's his fault.
Did you see what the guy who they traded for, Kyle Harrison, see what he's doing in Milwaukee?
Yeah, that seems – but is that going to continue? I don't know. He's 5-1. I mean, but again, they got good pitching, so I don't think they're losing on that because Suarez and Gray have been so good, so –
Yeah, and I will say that, but Contreras, I thought Contreras has always been a good hitter, even in St. Louis. But they still need another right-handed bat in that lineup.
I'm a right-handed batter.
Yeah,
you could probably out-hit Durbin.
Oh God,
I don't know if you could play third base, but you could probably out-hit him.
Hey, look, I think that third wild card is fraudulent. I mean, come on. Yeah, you see how bad the American League is this year overall? The Yankees are struggling. I mean, come on.
Wow.
The Red Sox are 22-27, and they're still like on the brink of getting into the playoffs. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's to keep interest. I mean, back in the day, there was 2 divisions and 2 teams made it. So I do think the wild card overall has been good. So now there's 6 teams make it? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
So,
but if they get in, they get in. But I roll my eyes going, really? Is that what we've come to? Where, hey, we're good enough to be the 3rd wild card? No, back in the day, it was not. I know I sound like a spoiled idiot, but come on. What happened to the aggressive free agent approach? Or going out and making a deal like a Josh Beckett for a Hanley Ramirez and back then those and a Mike Lowell. Those were great deals.
Well, in '78, the Sox won 99 games and were home by whatever the date was. The season ended in September.
Yeah.
So,
man, things haven't been that great for the Yankees. They get Garrett Cole back today. We'll get to that in the rundown, and of course, we got a couple guests to tell you about. Let's get things going because we do have our first guest in just a few minutes here on the Duncan Friday Sports Team. We'll start with local softball. Excuse me. Wyndham Tech softball 12-7. They'll finish up on the road today at Bacon and Tuesday at Wilcox Tech. Lime Memorial softball 12-8. They wrap up the season at home against Putnam Turtelot on Tuesday. Lyman baseball, hats off to first season coach Steven Stanoa, who took over for Coach Marty Gomez. Not a bad first season for Coach Stanoa. I think that's how you say it, Stanoa. 9-11 for the first year head coach, and Lyman baseball will finish the season next Wednesday at New London. E.O. Smith softball, congrats to Coach Scott McCall and the girls. They clinched the playoff berth, wrapping up the season with a 16-7 win over Bolton. And we will have Coach McCall on the show shortly to talk a little about his E.O. Smith softball team, and they're on their way to the postseason. E.O. Smith baseball 8-11 under Hunter Hamlin. They'll wrap things up with 2 road games today at Ellington and Wednesday at Enfield. As the coach, Jan Koivisto, just said, I guess 8 wins will get you in. So E.O. Smith baseball will see the postseason.
Yeah,
right?
the 8 wins get you into the states, and conferences are all different. Some conferences are 4, 6, 8 teams, but they'll be in the states. And 7 wins can get you in, depending the division and how the teams fall. But they're in. Coventry
softball, we say it every week. Coventry softball, Coventry baseball, just unbelievable. The softball team with Coach Jeff LaHouse, friend of the show, 19-1 after beating East Hampton 13-1. This team is an offensive juggernaut. They go for win number 20 in the regular season finale next Thursday at home against Granby. I was looking at some of their scores. It's almost double digits almost every game for the Coventry softball team. Coventry baseball just as good. Coach Denizzi, we had him on last week. They're 16-1 at home today at 4 against Woodstock, and then 2 on the road to finish the regular season. Moving on to UConn baseball, they dropped 2 straight. Excuse me, and they're done at the Big East tournament. They lost those 2 straight, losing to Xavier 5-1 and then Creighton 7-4. And the Huskies will finish the season at 32-26. And Johnny Uricchio from the Chronicle, our friend Johnny U, will join us to tie a bow in the UConn baseball season at 3:35. No NCAA tournament for the UConn Huskies baseball team this season. Major League Baseball, Red Sox welcome in Minnesota to Fenway this weekend after a sweep of the Royals in Kansas City this week. Red Sox Twins 6:10 tonight on WILI. Brian Bayo will get the ball for the Sox tonight at Fenway. Yankees have been struggling as late. They'll have Garrett Cole back tonight after he missed all of last year with Tommy John. Yanks take on the red-hot first place Tampa Bay Rays, who have a 4.5 game lead. Who would have thunk on the Yankees in the AL East? Rays, I think, have the best record in the American League, too. Mets are in Miami. NBA playoffs. Knicks up 2-0 on the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Really should be 1-1. It was a terrible choke job by Cleveland in Game 1. Knicks went on a 44-11 run in the fourth quarter in overtime to win that game at MSG, and then Cleveland really wasn't in it last night. So the Knicks go to Cleveland up 2-0. Josh Hart with a huge game last night after a not-so-good game in the first one. Game 3 tomorrow night in Cleveland. Tonight in San Antonio, Game 3 of the Western Final. Thunder and Spurs, 1 game apiece. Both 2 games, first 2 games have been quite entertaining. I'm looking forward to Game 3 tonight. That's a great matchup there. I mean, 1 and 2, you got Wembanyama, 1 and 2 in the MVP voting too, SGA and Wemby. So I think Game 3 should. You really like. I do agree with you. The defending world champs, the Thunder, should prevail. But I would not be shocked if San Antonio wins the series.
Well, I'm rooting for the Spurs, but yeah, I think maybe they can push it to 6. But OKC just looks like they they got off to that great start this season and they maybe coasted, but they look built for the playoffs.
Spurs pushed them in OKC. Past 2 games, they really pushed them. So I think it's a pretty even matchup. But yeah, I mean, OKC should win, but I would not be shocked if, in my opinion, if the Spurs. What do you think? Nick?
Well, I think I would like the Spurs to win also.
I'm pulling for the Spurs.
It'll be tough, but I think I think De'Aaron Fox is hurt.
He's sat out.
So I don't know.
I don't know what status is for
that might play into the Spurs' chances there. So I think OKC probably will win it, but I would like to see San Antonio.
Any rooting interest, Jan? I know we both.
San Antonio. I mean, you got to root for Castle.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for San Antonio. I'm actually kind of pulling for the Knicks now. I don't know if you saw ESPN did a sports. What do they call them? Sports shorts or something. A guy named Mitch Widmeyer. I don't know if you saw that. His sister had a brain injury, and he noticed when he's rooting for the Knicks, she looks at him and she engages, kind of.
Oh, wow.
So he started to set up a studio type thing, and he calls the game. It's awesome. It's the website's called Hannah's Views, Hannah's View, I think, but it's an ESPN thing.
I would love to see if you could send me
Mitch
that.
Widmeyer, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
If you got a dry eye after it, you don't have a heart.
Wow.
It's really, really interesting.
Send me that later if you
I will.
can remember it.
I will.
And you're right. The Knicks aren't, look, I don't root for New York teams, but this is a likable team. And I say it because my father's Villanova grad. Josh Hart, Brunson, and Bridges. Good guys. And, Mike Brown seems like a decent guy, too. So I wouldn't be upset if the Knicks win. I'm not.
And the Knicks have never really affected the Celtics in our lifetime. When the Celtics are usually better, in the couple of years the Knicks were good there with Ewing, the Celtics weren't any good.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't really view them as a rival that much.
NHL, Montreal up 1-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals, beating Carolina 6-2 last night. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Vegas leading Colorado 1-0. The game 2 of that series is tonight. I was trying to say game 2 tonight. Vegas leads Colorado 1-0. It's some very sad news. NASCAR driver Kyle Busch passed away at the age of 41 yesterday. He was just sick, huh?
I saw that.
Does anybody know anything else?
I would just look before the show. They still don't have details as to what his illness was. They said he was coughing up blood, and he got brought. I think he was in the race simulator on Wednesday night. I think I read, and they called 911 because he was feeling like he was going to pass out and feeling not well. So,
thoughts and prayers and condolences to Kyle's family and friends there. Okay, it's the Friday sports scene and runs on Duncan. And big thanks to our local Duncan stores at Route 32 South Wyndham, 407 Jackson Street, 1015 Main Street, and 1575 West Main Street. They got the Cloud Lattes with the marshmallow cold foam, which Nick had last week. What's that you got there? That's
the black cherry Daydream.
Ooh, you've had that before.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Dunkin' Refresher. And, of course, they get back to the Cloud Lattes. They got the Rocky Road Cloud Latte, Marshmallow Cloud Dunkin' Latte. I had a Dunkin' Latte earlier today. And, of course, the $5 meal deal. A lot of good stuff. So check out your local Dunkins. And Matt Rupar, what do you got on Homegrown before we get to our first guest, Coach Scott McCall?
Let's see, I got, let me turn my mic on. I got Patty Tuitt coming up again. This band Goose from Norwalk. Alyssa Velasquez, who works at Egg and Cheese.
Wait, she works at Egg and Cheese now?
I think so.
Local singer. I didn't know she worked at Egg and Cheese.
Yeah, I think she does. Oh. And Litvar, who played Third Thursday last night.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
A lot of great props to Chris Beaudry and Aaron and the crew at the Willimantic Renaissance. Great job for the first Third Thursday of the season. Hard to believe we're already in Third Thursday season. But, the Main Street was packed last night. It was a good time. And already looking forward to June. So in just a sec, we're going to get E.O. Smith softball coach Scott McCall on the line. Big news for the Panthers softball team. They're on to the postseason. So it's great to be able to connect with Coach McCall. Last week, we've had Coventry on the past couple weeks, right? Baseball and softball. Was it the house before I went to Florida, or was it after?
That was before.
And then we had Stanizzi for the baseball team. So it's great to connect with a lot of these local coaches. And, of course, big thanks to Johnny Uricchio, who will be joining us in a few to talk, 3:35 to talk UConn baseball. Unfortunately, the Huskies are done after the Big East tournament. I really thought they would, they were like the 3 seed, I think, going into that.
Yeah, they were the 2, and they lost to the 3.
they lost to Xavier.
Xavier was the 3, and then Creighton was 4. They lost both those.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I got to admit, I haven't followed UConn. I haven't been up that much on UConn baseball all season, but I think they went to the NCAAs last year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I know obviously some of their players, but they've had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And they've had basically 2 coaches.
They've
for the last
they've won
40
6
years, so.
straight Big East regular season championships as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they've had some success, and 32-26 is not a bad season. So we'll see what Johnny has to say about that at 3:35. But in the meantime, I think we are about to connect with our first guest on this May 22nd edition of the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Welcome in the coach of the E.O. Smith softball team, Scott McCall, who's on his way to the postseason. Very exciting news. Coach, welcome into the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, the WILI radio YouTube channel. It's Keith C. Rice, the coach, Jan Koivisto, the other coach, Jan Koivisto, and Nick Erlinson. Coach McCall, thanks for a few minutes, and congrats on the postseason berth.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm always happy for a chance to talk about the girls. I got a great bunch of kids.
So tell us, you finished the regular season at 10-10. What have been some of the challenges this year? I mean, you guys, you're into the postseason. You got to feel good about that. Tell us about some of the challenges that you came across this year.
Well, our biggest challenge is that we graduated 5 really good senior starters, including 2 All-State players, including our All-State pitcher. We have 10 freshmen and sophomores, so we had an extraordinarily young and inexperienced team and a really difficult schedule. Started out the year showing that, but as the season went on, I'm really happy with how hard these guys worked, the great attitude they had, the great team culture they established. And we are a far better team today than we were on day one. That's what it's all about. I told them on day one, our goal wasn't to be the best team this year. It was to be the most improved team. I don't know if we are or not, but I'm really happy with what they've done.
I want to ask a little bit on that too, because so you started off 2-6, so that means you're on a 10-4 finish. What went into that? What was the improvement?
Well, the biggest thing, we've got 3 first-year pitchers, and they got better as the year went on. But a lot of it was, it's a big adjustment. I have the fewest players ever in my program, but the most talent ever. It's just so young that they all have to learn how to make those adjustments to playing at a higher level. And as the year went on, they were coachable enough, worked hard enough that they started to make those adjustments. We hit better, we fielded better, we pitched better. So I would love a chance to play some of those teams that clobbered us early. I think it'd be a whole different outcome now. But all well done for these kids. Plus, I want to give credit. I have some great senior leadership that helps set the right kind of tone, the right kind of practice habits, the right kind of team culture.
Well, as Jan just said, Coach McCall from the E.O. Smith softball team joining us. Jan brings up a good point. A 10-4 finish is, not only a nice little springboard to the postseason, but it's also got to help that young team going into next season, right?
Well, absolutely. I'm particularly excited about next year. This year, from where we started and when I was looking at the start of the year, I knew we had talent. I knew we were going to struggle, and I'm really happy that we managed to get up to 10 wins with where we started from. But for next year, we're going to set the bar a lot higher. This year, our goal is to be the most improved team. We always set the goal with improvement each and every day in practice, but we're going to put a little more expectations on the girl next year because they should all come back a lot better.
Let me ask you a little bit. I'm sorry, Nick. You had mentioned the senior leadership. Anybody you want to give a couple of those players you want to give a shout out to who really stepped up for you?
I've got 2 seniors on the team, and when you get the right seniors, their contributions go well beyond anything they might do on the field with hitting or fielding or anything else. Mallory Knowlton is my first baseman, and Aisa Hobson usually plays left field for us, but they've done such a great job of keeping things positive. Encouraging the kids, patting them on the back when they need a pat on the back, giving them a little push when they need a little push, making sure everything stayed positive, making sure all the freshmen were welcome. We don't have a team with cliques. The freshmen talk to seniors. Everybody picks each other up, and when that's going on, it's a lot easier for a young player that's making errors to feel a lot better about it and maintain confidence and improve a lot faster. So a lot of credit to the 2 seniors for what they've done with our team culture.
So you got a few seniors leaving, and I guess you still have probably your highest impact player, Luis Champagne, on your team for next year still?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got some really talented players coming back. I've got two girls that, it's not up to me to vote, but I've got two girls that I believe deserve to be All-State. Louise is a junior who's improved immensely each and every year she's been here. She wound up this season hitting somewhere in the vicinity of 554. I flip-flop her between second and third, depending on where I need her. She plays tremendous defense. She sets a spectacular example just as far as work ethic and how to do everything right in practice and how much better you can get when you do that. So Louise will be back next year, and my center fielder is only a sophomore this year, Lila Kenny. Last year, she caught for us, not because she was a catcher, but just because I didn't have anybody else, and she was so athletic, we put her behind the plate. She caught for a 16 and 14. This year, we put her in center field, told her job was to replace our departing All-State center fielder, and she's done an amazing job of it. She got one of the better throwing arms around. Tremendous hitter. She also batted over 500, so having both those guys back will be huge. And I also get my shortstop back, but I have a whole bunch of people that sat on the bench this year that I expect some really good stuff out of next year.
Coach Scott McCall, E.O. Smith softball, joining us on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene here on WILI. So you mentioned the two seniors that'll be departing. Are they moving up another level? Are they going to continue playing softball, or what's the deal there?
Well, their plan is to go to college and come out with a career. And I apologize to the two of them. We had our senior night last night, and we talked about that. And now I forget what it is their career is going to be. But with both of them, they're such quality kids that I'm sure they'll be a success at whatever they're doing. They're not looking to play softball though, but they'll be missed. But I'm excited to see the improvement that a lot of our young players are going to have next year. I think we should be a lot better team.
Coach, pardon my ignorance for a second, but I'm not sure how the CCC works. Did you make that playoff, or are you just waiting for the states now?
Yeah, what the CCC does is there are 29 teams. Top 8 teams make the conference tournament. We were there the last 3 years. Didn't make it this year. We finished 13th out of 29 teams. So now we have to sit that out and wait for the state tournament and see who we're lined up with there.
So, I didn't realize it was set that way. So there's 29 teams. So I think you guys got to maybe go the ECC way and break that out into divisions a little bit more then. Well, yeah, what the CCC does is they have 3 divisions, but much of your schedule is set by how well you did the last 2 years. They create 5 tiers based on the last 2 years of your conference record. Tier 1 gets the most difficult schedule. Tier 5 gets the easiest. This year, we graduated 8 really good players in the last 2 years, so we got a Tier 1 difficult schedule, which is good. It made us better, but when all the girls that got you that tough schedule were gone, it's a little tough at first. But at the end of the day, it was still better for us to see that kind of competition.
A couple more from me, Coach, and then we'll send you off. We appreciate the time. We know you're busy. First question: What have you? How have you got the girls prepared for the postseason, and when exactly does that begin?
It'll be usually I say it's after Memorial Day, but we've got an early Memorial Day this year. Yeah. Right off start of June will be the first round. We started talking about that today. Matter of fact, kids are out there practicing now with my 2 assistant coaches. We started talking about how we've improved to the point that we don't have to assume we're simply going to get beat because we're playing a high-seeded team. There have been years in the past when we've won games against higher seeds, and can't guarantee it's going to happen this year, but I just want to make sure the girls understand that, we're going to go out there planning on doing our best and understanding we have a chance at winning no matter what the seed we're playing. So we just played 4 games in 4 days and 5 games in 6 days with no practices. Wow. So today and this coming week, basically it's all about touching up some of the things that we were starting to lapse a little bit on because of not having practices. So basically a lot of fine-tuning. You can't make big changes this time of year, but you can do a lot of fine-tuning, and that's what we're going to try to do this last week.
Well, sounds like you've done a good, Jim.
If my math is right, it looks like you got St. Joseph. Is that set yet, or that's not set?
They haven't announced that, but that's what I came up with.
Okay. All right.
That's what I come up with. They always have a good team. It's a long ride, too, but it is what it is. That's last year at 16-4, we got to play home games, but that's our penalty for going 10-10. But that's right, we're there. I'm happy we're there.
Sounds like you've done a great job. One we'll get you out on this. Tell us a little about yourself. How long you've been with E.O. Smith, and how many years have you been with the program, and what'd you do before that?
Well, this is probably my 8th year at E.O. Smith. Before that, I was at East Hampton. Long story short is I always spent a lot of time coaching boys baseball, and then switched over to girls softball. Been coaching for a long, long time. When I retired, I decided that why not indulge my hobby and find a school to coach at. And E.O. Smith's been a great place to coach. The kids are largely fantastic kids. The whole administration does a great job, and they make it a pleasure to be here. So at the moment, I'm staying right here.
Well, it sounds like you've done a great job. We appreciate you coming on. I'm sure we'll try and get you on if you guys keep this nice little run going. Of course, we'll always have next year too. But good luck against St. Joe's, and say hello to a good friend, Coach Belanger, for us.
Well, we appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
All right, Coach Scott McCall, the E.O. Smith softball team. What a nice second half run they've had, and get themselves right into the postseason. And nice job on you, Jan, looking that up against St. Joe's. They'll be opening up against. Right?
Well, we've talked about it before, and things get measured so much by wins and losses. But this is probably one of his more successful seasons with that young of a team, and it's just 10-10 is awesome for that
16-4 last year, and he's been there 8 years. Sounds like he's done a pretty good job, and we hope he stays. Sounds like he's really done an excellent job with the E.O. Smith softball program. All right, there we go. First half in the books. Still got another 30 minutes and change to work with here. Johnny Uricchio, our friend from the Chronicle, Jan's co-worker there, will be joining us. Talk a little UConn baseball. Johnny, pretty much a regular on the show now. And we got that. Maybe we'll touch on a few other things. NBA playoffs are hot. Red Sox, we'll squeeze a little more of that in the second half of the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and the WILI Radio YouTube channel.
This is Ian Eagle, and this is the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM.
All right, thank you, Ian. We're back on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. And, of course, you'll be able to watch the show. Sometimes it's uploaded Friday night, depending how busy our trusty producer, J. Matt Rupar, is. So you might be able to watch it tonight or sometime over the weekend. Search WILI Radio on YouTube, subscribe for free, and watch not just the Duncan Friday Sports Team, but a lot of great talk shows here on WILI. All right, Keith C. Rice back with the coach, Jan Koivisto, Nick Erlinson, and his Patrick Ewing jersey. And let's bring in another friend of the show. I believe it's his third time on here. We really appreciate the time. Johnny Uricchio, affectionately known as Johnny U from the Chronicle. Johnny, thanks for a few minutes. How you doing, buddy?
Good, yeah. Thanks for having me again.
Great day. You're clutch for us, man. You come up. We're just talking about how great you are on the high school beat, and you even do a little college stuff. UConn, basketball, women's basketball. Now, UConn baseball. Unfortunately, their season has come to a kind of a dramatic and quick end. It ended pretty quickly with the Big East tournament, losing 2 straight out in Ohio. Did that catch you by surprise that the Huskies went down 2 in a row to Xavier and Creighton?
Yeah, a little. I thought they would probably split. I know they played Xavier well I know they played them at the end of March because I wrote it, and they took 2 out of 3. And then I think Creighton. I didn't realize they were actually going to play last night. I forgot how the schedule was because they got postponed because they were supposed to play Wednesday. But I think Creighton was a bullpen game, so they had to. I think kind of that game was a little more of a must-win than Xavier because that puts your odds, and they fell behind versus Creighton right off the bat, 3-0. They battled, tried to come back, and then that's it. But am I surprised they didn't win it? No, just because if you look at their whole lineup, I think next year's their year because they've returned almost everyone. No one's younger. No one's more than a junior. So I feel like the future's bright. And they had this kid I remember last year in high school, that Cam Riggy, and he played catcher at Weathersfield, but he played outfield this year, and he had a really good year. So they got some up and coming players that probably next year is a year where they probably can make some noise.
Yeah, Jackson Marshall looked like he had a pretty good season too, and this is a team, and we're talking about. We're talking about off the air before the show started. Did they go to the NCAAs last year? I believe they did, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've been to the tournament 10 times since 2010. I remember looking at. And they lost that at Jan, so they lost that kid that was unfortunately very unexpected to that brutal freak accident.
Oh, that's
so
right.
They were missing him. So I mean, I think they actually had a really good year. I mean, they don't really have a lot of experience. They had a kid from Coventry, Evan Manziel, who actually played a little eye cover in high school. He transferred from Maine. He actually played. He had a decent start. And he hit for the cycle. He was like the first player to hit for a cycle since like 1985 or something crazy. It was like over 40 years. So I think it was on March 5th he did it. And, he started to slump a little. And then he really hasn't been in the lineup since then. But I think next, like I said, I think this is just a stepping stone. And I think they're going to be really solid team next year with all this experience, especially with all these. Everyone's coming back. I think some are like redshirt, sophomore, junior. They're gonna have a lot of chemistry, and they're gonna have advantage with that, with not having a lot of transfers and stuff.
I think that was Connor Lane you were talking about. He got hit by a pitch, I think, and he lost sight in an eye.
Yeah, that's why. And he was like, I guess when you sent me that, I didn't look up. I think he's supposed. It's brutal. He was supposed to be a major league prospect. They said he was a really good pitcher who could throw in the low 90s, and he can't hit. Well, actually, he could pitch, I think. I
actually think that's the plan, is he thinks he's going to try to make his way back as a pitcher now.
Yeah, he can pitch. That's crazy. It's awful, but what impressed me was his attitude. I couldn't believe how it's like I can't control what happened or why this happened. I mean, for someone that young and to have that and something taken away from him that never should have happened is pretty remarkable attitude. So kind of kudos to him because it's not easy to be that positive about it because that's something that is like, I would say less than, I don't even know how, you got to like hit the bat and it has to like squarely, everything has to go wrong for that to happen.
So let me ask one follow-up question, a little bit on a selfish note, because he's a kid from Woodstock, and I know the family a little bit. And he didn't play at all this year, but do you know anything about Brady Erickson? He's a pitcher. I don't know if they're redshirting him or what happened.
I do. Yeah, I do know. He did pitch. He was phenomenal. I saw him versus. He pitched for his Ram in the state tournament, in the state championship Class L, and he was unbelievable. Great control, speed. I was kind of surprised he didn't pitch this year just because when I saw from him in that game, I know he, obviously it's different in college, but I feel like he could be really good. I mean, I think he has great stuff, so maybe you see him next year and maybe they're just trying to ease him in a little. But he was phenomenal in that game when I saw him for the state championship. He led Woodstock in 24.
So UConn overall had a successful season, and it looks like they got most of the big awards for the Big East awards. They got the Player of the Year in Jackson Marshall, Big East Pitcher of the Year, Caden Suchi, and then as you mentioned earlier, Cam Riggy, and he got the Big East Freshman of the Year. So, do you? I don't know. I thought that was interesting that that they got all those guys, and then the coach got his 800th win this month. So it does look to me like their future is bright.
Yep, I agree. I think they're gonna excel next year, and I think it wouldn't. It's not. I think it wouldn't be a shock if they make the tournament next year, and. You're only going to get better from the experience you had, and as I mentioned before, the chemistry and just they have. I'm sure the coaches are going to give them a game plan where, stuff to work on in the off season that they can get better at. So they're probably gonna. I mean, they finished tied for Big East. They tied for the Big East crown in regular season. So I think they're probably going to be one of the teams that people pick in the preseason next year. Probably a popular pick.
I would think so, too. Johnny Uricchio from the Chronicle joining us on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene as we tie a bow on the 2026 UConn baseball season. The Huskies finish 32-26, and I was just looking at their schedule towards the end. They had a couple, They had a nice couple series wins, one at Seton Hall. I know, kind of a bottom feeders there. And they took 2 out of 3 at home against Villanova towards the end of the season. And they had things pointed in the right direction. Even I think they took 2 out of 3, if I'm not mistaken, in a non-conference opponent, East Tennessee State, which I don't know anything about East Tennessee State. I'm not going to lie. But Jackson Marshall seems like, this jumps out at me here, finished the season with a 47-game reach base streak. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, I think that kid is. Yeah, he's a sophomore, so and he had 14 homers, and so there's nothing. I mean, you only think he would get better with the experience. Like their top 3 hitters are all redshirt junior, or junior. So
yeah, and Marshall's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
So he's from New Hampshire, but. I mean, they were going into this tournament. They were the 2 seed, right? Did you say that, Nick, earlier?
Yeah. If they won their last game, they would have been the 1 seed, but they didn't get the sweep.
A little shocked that they. So it was double elimination, obviously, right?
Right. That's why I didn't realize that it was supposed to be Wednesday, but then it rained out there.
That's right.
I thought they were, and then I realized I checked this morning and I saw they lost to Creighton.
Has anybody, I should know this too, has anybody followed the Big East tournament since UConn's been out? Are there any surprises? Like, is Xavier, not to put everyone on the spot here, I was just following what UConn did.
Today, right? Is
today the final?
Well, they lost yesterday, so that's.
Oh, so it'll be Johnny, do you know who's how that bracket looks like right now? By any chance? I'm sorry, I just didn't happen. I was wondering.
I thought, I'm trying to pull it up.
No, that's all right. I was just curious. I just see if anybody's making a jump in that tournament. Any surprises?
It's St. John's Xavier.
It looks like Xavier's the host school. I know it's Mason, Ohio, so I'm assuming that's near Cincinnati, where Xavier is. So.
Yeah, St. John's versus Xavier. I think it already happened, but
okay.
It's just interesting how that stuff works because. If UConn got the 1, then they would have faced Creighton first. So that's how it plays out. But that's always the disadvantage those teams have. Like UConn, you have to win the conference to make the tournament.
Well, it looks like they pitched pretty well this year too. We haven't really talked about the pitching. I mean, I would think this team is definitely. I mean, I'm just a little shocked they went down 2 in a row, kind of without a fight, 5-1 and 7-4. But You say, Nick?
I was going to say, yesterday they gave up more runs than they had hits between the 2 games.
Wow.
They gave up 12 runs and only had 8 hits.
There you go.
Expectations are high. 32, like when we talked to the Eastern coach, 32-26, second in the Big East. That's a pretty good season,
Yeah.
It's just,
and they took all the major awards too.
I got another question for you, and you may not even know this, Johnny, but I'm just wondering how active the portal is for baseball, and could some of these guys leave? Could a Jackson Marshall leave? He must be attractive to some of these bigger Southern baseball schools.
Yeah, that was actually a good point. I didn't even think of that. I don't know much, honestly. I feel like the portal is really active for mostly basketball and football, but I mean, it all depends. I know that coach has been there forever, so he creates a good culture and stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of people. So it all depends, like you just mentioned, Jan. You do bring up a good point of like some SEC school calls up. That's where it's really born down there. So I mean, I'm sure they get. Sure, people they already start doing that stuff now. I mean, it's all crazy now. The minute the season ends, probably thinking about transferring some of the kids. So.
Well, yeah, and I got to imagine like UConn doesn't have much NIL money for baseball, and there probably is not much NIL money anywhere for baseball except in the Southern schools. There's got to be a few that have money.
Yeah, and that's their main sport, right? And that's the difference between UConn's main sports are basketball and. Basketball, where the funds are allocated mostly.
Yeah, good point. And I think it was just a few years ago that UConn was making kind of an exciting run in the NCAAs, didn't they? Again, I should have just pulled this up before I opened my mouth. But I mean, I remember they were. Wayno would know off the top of his head. I think it was just 2 or 3 years ago. They were on the verge of getting to Omaha, I think. And I can't remember.
No, it was. I think it was 20. Was it 20? I remember when I was working here, so I think it was 20. I think it was 24.
Yeah.
I'm going to check right now because I have their schedule up.
Yeah,
So
I do
think
know.
it was.
They've had such a great run, really, for a Northeast baseball school because they went from Baylock, who's now at Eastern,
Baylock,
still throwing bat.
I see him in church every Sunday. Andy Baylock.
To Penders. I mean, to me, that's probably 40 years
24.
of coaching.
Yeah.
24. Yep, they made it in 24. I remember that.
Okay, Andy. Wow. So 24. They're on the verge of going to Omaha. I remember we were all up on that, and then wait, Johnny, you still have that up? Who did they lose?
Yeah, I do.
Who did they lose to before they? I can't remember. They lost a game shy of going to Omaha, I think.
They lost. Oh, was it Oklahoma?
Yeah, I think that was it. That sounds about right. But I remember they had to win that game. Like, UConn might go to Omaha. Oh, my God. So that's pretty. Because I got to admit, I don't sit around watching. When you get in the middle of June on a hot day, and when it gets down to it, like, actually, to be honest with you, if the College World Series, what is it, a best out of 3?
Yeah.
And if it's really entertaining, I'll tune in. But I'm not sitting there watching the entire NCAA tournament like March Madness or anything.
Yeah, right. Just kind of because just even the score, like, it's so different. That's what's the difference. It's like. Just like I was even watching Sports Channel last week, it scores like 16-10, and it's just kind of it's kind of really crazy. It can get really crazy.
There's some wild games in the, especially in the College World Series. There, if you're flipping through one day, I go, I don't watch that much TV as it is anymore. But I'll be flipping through. Go, this game looks fun. If I got nothing going on, I'll watch it. Same thing with softball. The NCAA softball tournament gets kind of crazy too.
Well, softball's quicker. The thing with baseball, I think, is so many games, and you're going to your third, fourth, fifth, sixth pitcher sometimes. Softball, at least, should still you really use one pitcher.
Yeah.
So softball, I think, is a little crisper at the highest level in college. Baseball, it's hard to be crisp when it's your fifth or sixth guy pitching.
Yeah. We're almost done with you, Johnny. Thank you so much for a few minutes. One question for actually everyone in this room, including you. I am kind of embarrassed to admit I've yet to get up to Elliott Ballpark. Has anybody been to Elliott yet? Johnny, you must have been up there, right? Have you?
Yeah, I've been up there. I didn't.
I heard it's beautiful.
I've been at the stadium. I didn't catch a game because I've been mostly high school, but it's a nice ballpark. All those facilities are well done. I mean, they put obviously money into the soccer field there, everything.
The Toscano Family Ice Forum, which is another venue I want to check out. Really,
I mean, I could be going to the softball field depending if one of my teams goes to the finals because they have depth.
Oh, right.
What is it, softball?
We think Coventry is, right?
Yeah, why we got you on here? Let's why we got Johnny on here? Not just talk about UConn. Let's shift gears. So we have a couple more minutes with you here, if you don't mind. Give us. We just talked to Coach McCall from E.O. Smith softball. They're in the postseason. We had him on earlier today. We've had Coach LaHouse on from Coventry softball. Coach Tenizzi from Coventry baseball. Give us a little quick in about a minute or two. Who are some of your hot teams, and who you think could go really far in the boys baseball tournament and the girls softball tournament?
Yeah, I'll just skip from obviously Coventry. I'll just start. They face Woodstock today, which is what they bring up Brady. So that's again actually on their senior day, good test. They actually beat one of their best ones. That in Ellington, they beat Berlin on Tuesday, which I was at. 12-2 and 6. They just hit the ball, line drives everywhere. It's just well prepared, well coached, and the kids to put the work in. And they're going for 16 today, I think. If they win, they got 2 more games after that.
By the way, is this baseball or
baseball?
Baseball. They're going for 7.
Yeah.
I think they're going for 17-1 today.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they are. Yep, you're right. And then softball just concluded their season Thursday, 19-1.
Yep.
The thing with the softball, it's not their fault at all, and it's even this conference too for baseball, is that conference is just it's not good for competition. They're up 10-0 the first thing the game's over. Again, it's not their fault, but because they're a really good team. So if they face Hale Ray, that's the test I was impressed to see. They went on the road. They beat Hale Ray 3-2.
It's the game Jam was talking about. Yeah.
Yep. I think both baseball and softball, it looks like, kind of knew that, and they did get some of these games because even Coventry baseball is a Class S team, and while Woodstock is only 500ish this year, they're double L.
Are there mercy rules in softball though? Or there are?
And baseball.
Yeah,
on baseball.
And baseball.
Yeah.
5 innings.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Both of them are going to be in the conference tournament. So the baseball team, it's not going to. I know they're going to have to deal with the Catholic schools who are on fire right now, and the softball team's going to have to deal with North Branford and Hale Ray. So it's like one of those teams. So it's like if they do get to the semis, I'm not going to guarantee anything, but if they do get to the semis, it's not going to be like it's not going to be easy. It's going to be
dog fights,
probably. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. And then you said E.O. Smith. E.O. Smith is really impressive to me for softball because I even told the coach yesterday when we went to the game, I did not think they would be good this year. Not because just because they had so many freshmen and sophomore. They have 2 sophomore pitchers pitching this year, and they started 2-6.
Mm-hmm.
They scored 8 runs versus Southington, who's always good, and I feel like that kind of flipped the switch for them, where it just saw like they can hang with one of the best teams, and they beat Berlin 4-3, and they lost East Catholic the other day, but I think that he's really excited. I think he's actually got some great players coming up from the middle school he's got, so I think he's thrilled with it. They got a lot of talent. They could really hit, so they could potentially upset someone in the first round. It all depends on my question with them if the pitching can hold up, because it's understandable because they're both freshmen.
Johnny, we got to go, but you do an unbelievable job. We really appreciate it. One quick thing, speaking of like middle school ball, before we let Johnny, I don't know if Johnny's familiar with Porter 8th grade softball. Shout out to my good friend Tommy Spector. They won the title. They won a championship last night. So look out for the 8th grade softball team making their jump to the next level there. The girls from Porter School in Columbia. So I got to give a shout out to good friend Tommy Spector on his championship. I don't know if you knew about that, Johnny.
Yeah, well, he actually told me that that they have a really good pitcher, I think, who might go to. I don't know where she will go, but I guess they knocked out Comgy's first time forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think he had like 1 loss. They were like 17-1 this year or something. So props to Tommy and his team. Johnny, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Johnny Uricchio from the
you.
Chronicle, giving us a little UConn baseball and high school baseball and softball preview there as we get ready for the conference and state tournaments. I think, how much time we got? About a minute, J-Matt? Less than a minute. I'll be able to wrap things up. Big thanks to the coach, Jan Koivisto, Nick Erlinson, J-Matt Rupar, our guests, Coach Scott McCall from E.O. Smith Softball, and Johnny Uricchio from the Chronicle. Enjoy the NBA playoffs this weekend. I'd say Red Sox, Twins.
I'll watch. I'll tune in.
I will.
I'll tune in.
Hey, they're on the brink of the 3rd wild card. Look out. Whatever you do this weekend, enjoy your holiday weekend. Be safe. J-Matt Rupar coming up next with Homegrown. Don't forget, subscribe for free, WILI Radio on YouTube. You can watch the show. Have a great weekend. 14 WILI, Willimantic, and 95.3 FM.